Do political ideologies live and die with their originators? A compelling question indeed. Political ideologies, these intricate webs of thoughts and beliefs that shape our societies, are often deeply intertwined with the individuals who first crafted them. They are like portraits reflecting the mind of the artist, yet interpreted differently by each observer. But are these ideologies merely the echoes of their creators, destined to fade away with time, or can they endure, evolve, and continue to influence generations long after their originators have passed? In this exploration, we'll be delving into the depths of several political ideologies, examining their roots and gauging their longevity. We'll journey through the realms of communism, fascism, and phalangism, scrutinizing their ties to their creators and pondering their relevance in our modern world. Our exploration begins with one of the most influential political theories in human history. Let us delve into our first case study, communism, and its originator, Karl Marx. Communism, a political theory credited to Karl Marx, proposed a stateless, classless society. But just how much of this ideology was the brainchild of Marx alone? Karl Marx, a philosopher, economist, and revolutionary socialist, was undoubtedly the driving force behind the rise of communism. His seminal work, The Communist Manifesto, co-authored with Friedrich Engels, laid the philosophical groundwork for what would become a global political movement. Marx's ideas were revolutionary, radical, and they challenged the status quo. He envisioned a society where wealth and power were not concentrated in the hands of a few, but equally distributed among all. He saw the capitalist system as inherently exploitative and believed that only a communist society could rectify this. Yet can we say that communism could have existed without Marx? It's a complex question. While Marx was instrumental in shaping communist thought, the ideas he proposed were not entirely new. Concepts of communal living and shared resources have existed throughout human history. What Marx did was to give these ideas a solid theoretical framework, a language, and a platform from which to challenge existing systems. However, it's also important to remember that the communism Marx envisioned is not the communism we've seen play out in history. Many argue that the real-world implementations of communism have diverged significantly from Marx's original ideas. Moving forward, let's examine another political ideology, fascism, and its association with Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini. Fascism, often associated with Adolf Hitler's Germany and Benito Mussolini's Italy, is another powerful example. Born out of the ashes of World War I, fascism was molded into a potent political force by these two leaders. The term fascism itself originates from the Italian fascio, symbolizing a bundle of rods bound together, representing unity and strength. But would this ideology have gained such ground without the charismatic and forceful personalities of Hitler and Mussolini? In Germany, the rise of Hitler was a direct response to the nation's post-war humiliation and economic ruin. Hitler's charisma, oratory skills, and promises of a return to national pride resonated with the masses. His brand of fascism, infused with racial superiority and anti-Semitism, became synonymous with Nazism. It was Hitler's personal ideology, and it's hard to imagine it gaining the same momentum under another's banner. In Italy, Mussolini, a former socialist, forged a different path. His fascism was rooted in nationalism and authoritarianism, but without the racial purity aspect of Hitler's Nazism. Mussolini's charismatic leadership, his promise of a return to Roman grandeur, and his skill in manipulating public sentiment were key to the rise of fascism in Italy. The ideology was so intertwined with Mussolini's persona that it's difficult to separate the two. Both Hitler's Nazism and Mussolini's brand of fascism were deeply rooted in their personal beliefs and charismatic leadership. Their ideologies reflected their personal visions and were propelled by their ability to sway millions with their rhetoric and promises. This raises an intriguing question. Could fascism have existed or persisted without Hitler and Mussolini? While it's impossible to say with certainty, it seems unlikely. The ideologies were so intricately tied to their creators that their downfall inevitably led to the decline of their ideologies. The longevity of political ideologies, it seems, is often tied not just to the ideas themselves, but to the individuals who champion them. Next, we explore a lesser-known political ideology, Phalangism, and its originator, Francisco Franco. The Phalangism, a political ideology associated with Francisco Franco's Spain, offers another interesting case study. This ideology, A unique blend of nationalism, authoritarianism, and social conservatism was inextricably linked with Franco himself. He played a significant role in shaping Falangism, molding it to fit his vision of a unified and homogeneous Spain. His influence was so profound that it's challenging to separate Falangism from Franco. Franco's death in 1975 marked the end of Falangist Spain. Without his iron grip, the ideology began to crumble, eventually giving way to a democratic Spain. This raises a fascinating question. Could Falangism have existed or continued without Franco? Given its deep roots in his personal philosophy and the specific historical context of Spain, it's unlikely. Like many other ideologies we've discussed, Falangism seems to be intrinsically tied to its creator, living and dying with him. Finally, let's discuss democracy, an ideology that has survived multiple timelines. Democracy, as a political ideology, seems to defy the pattern we've seen so far. Unlike the ideologies we've explored, democracy does not bear the name of its originator, nor is it confined to the lifespan of a single individual. Its roots, tracing back to the ancient Greeks, have endured for millennia, evolving and adapting to the changing tides of human history. From the Athenian Assembly to the Roman Republic, from the Magna Carta to the American Revolution, democracy has consistently reinvented itself, proving its resilience and adaptability. It has survived empires and dictatorships, wars and revolutions, and continues to thrive in various iterations across the globe. Unlike ideologies that revolve around a single figure, democracy is founded on collective decision-making, the will of the people. This decentralization makes it less susceptible to the fate of a single individual. Yet it's worth asking whether this makes it an everlasting ideology. Does democracy's longevity make it the true political philosophy? It's a provocative question. After all, the longevity of an ideology doesn't necessarily equate to its moral supremacy or practical effectiveness. Democracy, like any system, has its flaws and challenges, yet its enduring presence suggests that it taps into a fundamental human desire for freedom, equality, and self-governance. Thus, we see that political ideologies and their longevity are often deeply intertwined with their originators.